Hey, fantasy football fanatics, preparing for your draft is all about finding those reliable studs, right? But here's the secret. It's just as important to know which players you absolutely cannot count on. Taking chances is part of the game, but pick too many risky players and you could ruin your fantasy team before the season even starts. Today, we're counting down the top 3 riskiest players to draft in 2025 based on their average draft position. Let's get rolling. Coming in at number 3 on our list is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, Baker Mayfield. An incredible 2024 campaign, throwing 41 touchdowns and finishing as the QB4 overall in fantasy points. You might be thinking, what's the risk? Well, his 2024 performance was a massive outlier compared to the rest of his career. It was the first time he recorded at least 18 fantasy points per game, and he scored 15 more touchdowns than in any other season. Throwing 40-plus touchdowns in back-to-back years is a huge challenge for most quarterbacks, especially for a player who hadn't had 30 in any of his career 6 NFL campaign. Regression should be expected, plus he'll be working with a new play caller for the 4th straight season. All these factors make him a decent risk at the current cost. Our second riskiest pick is Arizona Cardinals wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. with an average draft position of 4th round around wide receiver 19. After being one of the biggest fantasy letdowns in his highly anticipated rookie season, finishing as wide receiver 44 in points per game, he's still being drafted as a top 20 wide receiver. He was a top 20 producer in just 4 weeks of last season and finished as wide receiver 40 or worse in 9 weeks, a staggering 15% of his total fantasy production in just 1/4 of one game. Harrison struggled to consistently separate in the Cardinals offense, averaging just 2 yards of separation per target, which was the lowest among all NFL wide receivers with at least 100 targets last season. It's hard to see how his outlook will drastically change in year 2, with the Cardinals running it back with the same quarterback and offensive coordinator and little turnover in the wide receiver room. He's a definite risk in round 4. And the number 1 riskiest fantasy football draft pick for 2025, here's a surprise: Las Vegas Raiders tight end Brock Bowers. Average draft position is round 2, tight end number 1. Bowers finished as a tight end 1 overall in total points last season after breaking numerous rookie tight end records. Sounds great, right? He was tight end 3 in points per game at 15.5 and barely ahead of George Kittle and Trey McBride. For a tight end to be worthy of a 2nd round selection, they need to score more than other players at their position to give them a massive advantage. When Travis Kelce held the premier spot, he was averaging 18 plus points per game. Even with a massive 153 targets, didn't blow other top tight ends out of the water in production. There's also the risk of his targets declining this fall with new head coach, offensive coordinator, and a quarterback. You can likely wait another 2 or 3 rounds before selecting Bowers, or consider Kittle or Sam Laporta, who should provide similar, if not better, production. This hefty cost makes him the riskiest pick. To have it, the top 3 riskiest players to watch out for in your 2025 fantasy football draft. Be smart, know the risks, and make sure your team is built to win. Thanks for watching, and for more NFL and fantasy football content, keep it right here to Sportsnaut.com.